Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM. We are now on YouTube. Watch all of our live episodes plus exclusive content in our channel at Radyo Katipunan FM. Don't forget to click subscribe and hit the bell to get the latest updates.
We stand on a hill between the earth and sky. Now all is still where the yellow's colors fly. Our course is run and the setting sun ends our tenuous day. Eyes are dry at the last goodbye. This is the Ateneo way. Mary for you, for your white and blue. We pray you keep us, Mary, constantly true. We pray you keep us, Mary, faithful to you. Down from the hill, down to the world go I, remembrance there.
Susunod na ang Lundagin Mo, Beybeh sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Radyo Katipunan. Radyo, 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 radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo, radyo, radyo Katipunan. Radyo, radyo, radyo Katipunan. Sa Blue Eagle kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay at tenista sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng kwela. Radyo, radyo, radyo Katipunan. Radyo, radyo, radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugod, todo sa kayod, tulong at tulong. Lipat na Blue Eagle, galing giting nagigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, radyo, radyo Katipunan. Radyo, radyo, radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo, radyo, radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan.
Meron? Ano nga ba ang meron? Paano nga bang mabuhay ng tapat sa meron? Don't you wish you can relive your philo classes? The terror teachers? The terrible oral exams? Or the even terrifying but liberating and life-changing aha moments? Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Here's your chance! Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Kasama ang mga pilosopong sina Jovi Miroy at Capinding. Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Leaping upward, leaping forward. Lundagin mo, Beybeh! Leaping to greater heights, to greater wisdom, to greater magis. Lundag na, Ateneo!
Good evening po sa inyong lahat. Ito na naman po ang inyong lingkod na si Jovi Miroy para sa ating palatuntunan na Lundagin Mo, Beybeh. Sa kasawiang palad, wala po si Sir Ron sa linggong ito. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. Hindi ko na lang sasabihan. Alam ko, pero hindi ko na lang sasabihan. Pero ang kanya namang kahalili ay ang walang iba kung hindi ang kapitapitagang si Hansley Juliano na nagbabalik mula sa bansang Hapon sa ating bansang Pilipinas ngayong araw na ito ng transport strike. So, bumati ka muna, Hansley. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back, Tucker. Alam mo ba yun? Welcome back, Tucker.
Opo. Magandang hapon po, magandang gabi po sa ating mga kababayan na nakikinig ngayon sa Radyo Katipunan. In the off chance na meron po tayong mga nakikinig sa ibang panig ng mundo, good evening, kumbawa, lahat po ng pagbati. Sana po iligtas kayo at sana komportable.
Ayan. So thank you, Hansley. Actually, si Hansley dapat ang interviewin natin. Nahihiya siya. Kaya humatak siya ng kasama niya. So, ang paksa natin ngayon, kasi si Hansley galing siya sa Japan. Ako I admire Japan. Pero hindi ko yata ma-imagine na sarili ko mabubuhay sa Japan. Pero si Hansley, ilang taong ka sa Japan, Hansley?
To be exact, I stayed there po since 2020 for 2 years and 10 months.
Oo. So dapat tatanungin natin si Hansley ng kanyang mga natutunan sa bansang Hapon, ng kanyang pag-aaral doon. Pero gusto yata niya na bigyan ng lalong ng iba yung kahulugan ng kanyang exit interview. Kaya pag-usapan natin yung kalagayan ng ating mga kababayan sa Japan. Kaya nga walang ibang dapat tanungin kung hindi nandun pa sa Japan. At kaya si Hansley, inimbitahan niya ang kanyang i-introduce na dito naman sa radyo, sa Lundagin mo, Beybeh. The more the merrier. So, laging pagkakataon niya na makadaupang palad ang ating mga bagong kaibigan. Alright. So, Hansley, pakilala mo ang ating panauhin.
Yes po. So, mga kaibigan, ito pong ating panauhin ngayong gabi ay di ko naman po masabi lang na nakilalang mainam. Gusto ko na rin po siyang tawagin kaibigan, ate. In fact, sa dami ng ginawa niya sa akin throughout my entire stay in Nagoya, she's practically my foster parent na rin, even if she didn't enlist for that. Siya po sa kasalukuyan ay faculty ng Department of English ng Nanzan University, which is a Catholic university based in Nagoya City. Pero sa kanyang downtime, siya naman po ang pangulo ng Chubu Philippine Friendship Association, which is a volunteer community service org in Nagoya City itself. So, bigyan po sana natin ng mainit na pagbati ang akin pong nanay-nanayan, si Binibining Abigail Kapitin Prinsipe. Ate Abby, take it away.
Magandang gabi.
Oo.
Sa lahat.
Nasa Japan ka, no? Nasa Japan ka.
Opo, nasa Japan.
Sa Nagoya.
Yes, Nagoya.
May kilala ka bang Jade Prinsipe?
Jay Prinsipe? Wala.
Wala.
Nako naman si Jovi baga
yung other half. Ang iyong other half. Yun ang married name.
Oh, married name yan. Ang pangalan ng husband ko, John Prinsipe. Hindi Jay.
Meron kasi kang kakilala na Jade Prinsipe. Yeah.
Based in Japan.
Hindi.
Ay.
Ano, in-joke to, ma'am.
Ay, ganon. Ang
Anyway.
Prinsipe, ganon.
Yes, kasi si Abby nasa Japan, so siya tuloy ang ating kakausapin ngayon.
Yes po.
Ganon.
Ilang taon ka na sa Japan? Ilang taon na kayo sa Japan?
Well, I arrived the year 2000. So, dali i-compute, di ba? 23 years in Japan. So, yes. The first time I came here, nasa student ako noon. Same scholarship program ni Hans. I was at the Mombu Kagaksha Scholarship Program. Yon. So, I've been here since then, since the year 2000.
So you stayed there na?
Yes. Actually, ano nga ba? Bakit nga ba? When I came to Japan, talagang bala ko lang talaga mag-aral. You know, get a master's, get a PhD, go back to Manila. But, nakakatuwa tumira dito. Convenient, malinis, madali mag-commute dahil hindi ako nag-drive at hindi ako marunong mag-drive. And this country is really good for people who don't drive. So, yun. Plus, after I graduated kasi, I found a job and the rest is history. I decided to stay.
All right.
Very telling pa nga po yung sinasabi ni Ate Abby na Japan is fun for people who don't drive, considering Nagoya City is the territory of, Toyota Motors. So, Nagoya is one of the most car-centric na syudad sa Japan. And yet, pwede kayong mabuhay dito nang hindi mo kailangan bumili talaga ng kotse.
Yes. If you live in the big cities in Japan, you don't really need a car. Pang ano lang siya, pang sa malayuan, pag nakatira kayo sa probinsya, ganun. Or kung car fanatic kayo and you collect cars, then yun. Gusto nyo lang ng kotse, ganun. But it's not necessary.
Ayun. So, kasapin din natin si Hansley kasi bumalik siya mula sa Japan. Hansley, kamusta naman ang iyong pagbabalik?
Well, sa awa naman ng Diyos, marami pa po mainit naman ang pag-welcome ng aking pamilya. Sabay-sabay kami naghapunan nung linggong dumating ako.
Hindi ka nila tinakwil.
Wala naman ho sigurong dahilan. para sa ganun. Medyo medyo nanibago nga lang ako kasi nga alam nga ni Ate Abby, palamig na po ngayon sa Japan eh. Nagta-transition na tayo dun sa autumn. So malamig na talaga. And in fact, noon pong linggo na ako'y umuwi, malakas ang ulan sa international airport. Kaya medyo biglang-bigla ako na parang 1 hour in the air pagka alis namin ng Nagoya, ang init ng ang init ng tama ng araw sa langit. Tapos pagdating namin sa Maynila, ay ito na, the familiar humidity ng Metro Manila at ng NAIA 3.
Oo. So Hansley, ano bang natutunan mo sa Japan? 2.5 years ka doon.
Yeah. Well, una, I appreciate na matutunan na posibleng kumain araw-araw ng hindi ng hindi fast food. Posibleng kumain araw-araw ng hindi fast food at mas mura talagang kumain kapag ikaw ang nagluluto at posibleng kumain araw-araw ng nagluluto na mura lang ang gagastusin. And this is considering may mga economic downturns din naman po within Asia, both in the Philippines and in Japan. Parang kung sa usapan na lang din ng batayang bilihin, affordable pa rin kahit paano. Even considering yung binibigay na pasweldo, pa-stipend sa mga mag-aaral na kagaya ko. So mabubuhay talaga basta lang marunong magtipid at masinop. I think
Parang gusto kong tanungin si Hansley, ibig sabihin ba niyan dito sa Pilipinas araw-araw kang kumakain sa fast food?
Hindi ganito kasi yung ibig kong sabihin yan. Pag ba halimbawa sa Katipunan tayo nakatira, parang imposible yung kumain ng hindi fast food 'di ba? Kasi kada lakad mo sa tapat ng Katipunan, puro fast food, puro restaurant ang katabi mo. Pag nasa neighborhood ka, makakakain ka ng buong meal sa suking essentially sa suking izakaya, sa suking karinderya na wala pang 1,000 yen, which in current exchange rates is mga 300 to 400 yen. So yung presyong karinderya natin, presyong karinderya din doon, pero kalidad ng restaurant yung luto. Maski po nung mga neighborhood na kainan. Kasi mukhang nag-e-effort nga din yung mga neighborhood na kainan doon na punto nga natin mahal na nga ang buhay, ba't pa namin kayo lalamangan sa ganito? Pagkain na nga lang, di ba?
So,
So,
Abby, when you decided to stay there na, so kumbaga talagang migrant ka, di ba?
mhm.
At yan din ba yung dahilan kung bakit maraming Pilipino pumupunta? Kamusta na ba ang populasyon ng mga Pilipino sa Nagoya?
Actually, Nagoya is part of Aichi Prefecture.
Mhm.
So, ang statistics nila dito, hindi nila binibase minsan sa city, binibase nila minsan sa prefecture. So, Aichi Prefecture has the highest number of Filipinos, I think, in the whole of Japan. So, parang if kung yung natatandaan ko tama, parang nasa mga 30,000 Filipinos plus ang nakatira sa Aichi Prefecture. And na-mention na rin nga yun ni Hans, di ba? Car center of Japan. Kasi, not Nagoya City, but very near, katabi lang ng Nagoya City is Toyota City. And Toyota City, that's where most of the cars are produced. And that whole area, ang dami-daming factories doon, ang dami-daming car makers, not just Toyota. And yun yung dahilan kung ba't maraming Filipinos dito sa Aichi. Kasi most of them work at the factories. And ito recently, I think meron tayong 'di ba, parang trainee visa quite recently na ang dami-daming dumadating ngayon sa Japan on the trainee visa. And most of them, that's what they do. They end up working at the factories. And yeah, so madami rin. But the term migrant kasi hindi siya masyadong ma-apply masyado sa mga, kasi wala namang immigration system ang Japan per se. Not like
Okay.
other countries na where you
Ano
can,
ibig sabihin nun? Walang migration
well,
system.
on paper, siguro meron. But in reality, walang immigration ang Japan. You go here, you work, you're not really nobody calls you a migrant. They call you a laborer. And the way, halimbawa, if you want to migrate to Australia, at the end of the day, you become an Australian, di ba? That's the goal. But that doesn't happen in Japan. Very, very few Filipinos actually end up changing their passports to the Japanese passport.
Mhm.
So, most Filipinos here, OFWs. Yun. Tapos noon, very few Filipinos would think of retiring here. Very few Filipinos would think of, unlike if you go to the US, you end up retiring. Hey, I live in Florida, like every other Filipino. So, parang ganun. It doesn't happen here. Weird eh, no?
So parang walang sistema na after 3 years residency,
Ay!
pwede ka na mag-apply ng Japanese citizenship. Hindi
Wow.
ganun.
That is so impossible.
Pero yun nga, so bakit ang dami pa din Pilipinong pumupunta sa Japan?
Mhm.
To work, but not to live, not to retire here. Yeah.
Pero
So,
even so, masarap pa din magtrabaho dyan.
I guess if I would mention if I would mention what my friends experience or the people I know, some of them, they work here. A lot of the Filipinos work here because of the salary. Yung sweldo. Yun. And then kung ano yung
Ako din eh. That's the reason why I work, joke.
That's the reason why most people
pero
work.
ibig sabihin, mataas yung sweldo dyan. Mataas yung sweldo dyan.
Well, noon. But now,
Ano?
kasi ang baba ng yen, di ba?
Mhm.
So, ang baba ng exchange rate ng yen. But
Pero
a lot
yun
of
nga din
people
yung konteksto ng conversation natin, no? So parang may nagbago na. May
Yes.
nagbago na sa... Kaya yun din yung konteksto na kamustahin natin yung mga kababayan natin sa Japan. Kasi dati talagang mag-Japan ako. Mag-Japayuki ako. Yung mga ibig sabihin ng Japayuki? Ano yung sabihin ng Japayuki?
Japayuki just means a person who works in Japan.
So yun nga, di ba? So
Yun lang
yung
yun.
dati, yun talaga ang goal ng marami, di ba? Japayuki. Pero
Yes.
nagbago na. Pero marami
Pero
pa din Pilipino sa Japan.
Pero ano po yata
Yes.
kasi 'di ba? Yung naalala ko, yung notable shift din kasi natin was yung mga nagtatrabaho sa Japan, ang stereotype natin for the longest time is sa entertainment sector sila nagtatrabaho. It was only really recently nga na yung makeup ng mga migranteng kababayan natin ay nagta-transition nga to factory work, to technical work, to specialized industries, and yung mga kagaya natin na nasa education sector. And
Yes.
and I guess yung shifting generation din na yun din yung nagiging source ng bakit medyo challenging bumuo ng community kasi madalas parang nagkakaroon ng tinginan na basically yung mga pare-parehong sektor lang ang nag-uusap with each other. So yun.
Yes. That's one of the things na napansin ko rin dito kasi people who have the shared experiences, they tend to band together. So halimbawa, kung the factory workers hang out. Diba? And then people who work in the entertainment industry, they hang out. Nagkakakita-kita lang yan sa simbahan. Alas. Because everybody just goes to church. So, ganon. So, parang ang hirap. Then, for example, like, I'm now, like, I'm the president of CPFA. Every time I try to talk to other Filipinos, invite them to our events, parang ang ilap nila sa akin. Parang, hindi ka naman namin kaano-ano eh. Pero Pilipino ako ganon. Diba? Ini-invite ko kayo, may event kami, punta naman kayo. Parang ganon. And it's more of people just kind of want to work, be left alone and work so that they can go home as soon as possible. Parang ganon. Hindi kasi, unlike if this were the US or the UK or Australia, titira kayo dun eh. Diba? Diyan na kayo titira eh. So, gagawa ngayon kayo ng community nyo dahil titira kayo dyan. But most Filipinos here, hindi naman nila iniisip na titira kami dito eh. Unless married to the Japanese, di ba? And in that case, active naman sila sa Japanese community. Not really sa Filipino community.
Sila yung naging Japanese.
Yes. Di ba ganun naman tayo mga Pilipino ninja?
Parang blend in lang. Blend in lang.
Yes. Lagay nyo ako kahit saan, magiging ganun ako. Parang ganun ang Pilipino. So, put me in Japan, I become Japanese. Put me in Australia, I become Australian. Parang ganun. So, ang hirap mag-try mag-organize. Plus the language. Ang hirap-hirap matutunan ng Hapon. So, when people get together, halimbawa gusto nyo gumawa ng some community event or something, somebody has to be the one translating everything. Hihiram kayong community center, kailangan may marunong mag-Japanese. Hihiram kayo ng isang area para mag-get together, kailangan may marunong mag-Japanese. At some point, napapagod na yung nag-iisang miyembro nyo na marunong mag-Japanese. Dahil siya na gumagawa lahat.
Hindi rin worth kasi nga hindi naman mag-i-stay dyan.
Yun. Isa pa yun. At saka
Pero
mahirap.
balik tayo dun sa pwede nating matutunan. Anuhin ko siya, no? So natutunan natin na maganda yung transport system. Natutunan natin na mura yung fresh food.
Recently, mas mura siya. Well, nagmahal na kasi buong mundo. Ang Japan hindi pa nagbabago. So para siyang naging mura.
Nagmumukha siyang mura by comparison.
Kasi when I arrived here 23 years ago, everything was expensive compared sa Philippines. Now, when I go home sa Philippines, saan ka nakakitang 350 pesos na ramen? Ano yun? Diba? Ang mas mura ang ramen sa Japan, Japan na nga to. So, ang
masarap
mahal.
pa. Authentic pa.
Yeah, actually, yes.
Natatandaan ko yung ramen sa saan ba ako nagpunta nun? Sa Kyoto. Kyoto Station. Amazing. Iba lasa ng authentic. But the thing is, so dalawa na yon. Ano pa? Maayos, I guess.
You know, one thing then why a lot of Filipinos actually end up deciding to stay is that the medical insurance in Japan is quite comprehensive. Ano talaga siya? I mean, hindi siya prohibitive pag nagbabayad. Required lahat dito.
Magkano bayad tapos gaano kadalas babayaran?
Monthly po siya.
Monthly siya depending on your salary.
Oo. So mga magkano yun in pesos? O anong percent ng salary?
Siguro, parang mga 10% of your salary. So, kung meron kang 300,000 yen a month, edi 10% nun you pay for the medical insurance.
Pero kahit ano na yon, kahit anong sakit na at gaano katagal ka sa ospital.
Kahit anong sakit except cancer.
Yeah. And I guess mental psychological services. Medyo behind pa sila doon.
Oo. Posible pa rin 'yon if depende sa kasi like Nanzan has support for mental issues kung merong ganun ng Nanzan for both the staff and the students. Pasok 'yun sa medical insurance.
Okay.
That's the one thing na I think kept me alive also nung nandun ako kasi
ganda ng
kasi parang for students talagang mas mark down pa yung payment namin on health insurance. So like for example, yung binabayaran ko lang sa health insurance is 1,300 yen a month. Wala pang 1,000 sa atin yun. Wala pa nga yatang 500 pesos yata sa atin yun. And it covers me for everything. Never ho ako nagkaroon ng hospital bill that shot up below 5,000 yen, which is not even 1,000 pesos in our currency. So at least in that aspect, pag basic illnesses, alam mong may malalapitan ka, alam mong hindi mabubutas yung bulsa mo. Basta nga lang, there needs to be a guarantee na merong pumapasok laging pera sa'yo. Meron kang garantisadong sweldo. Because without that, that's when the problems begin to become visible.
At
Japan
saka sa
has a
Japan,
national health eh. Yes,
Mhm.
napakalinis.
Mm.
Public toilets ang linis.
Mm.
yun ang specialty nila, no? Yung
Yeah.
Yes.
toilet.
Yeah.
Yun ang basihan eh.
Public service. Kasi medyo matagal na din na pumunta ako ng Japan. Yung museums, may bayad ba yun?
It depends. Merong free museum days where they
Ah.
encourage people. So parang special occasions during the month or the year, certain museums are free. Yung Toyota Car Museum, not twice na akong nalilibre doon kasi alam ko yung free schedule nila.
Mm.
And other museums, it's about 1,000 yen, 1,500 yen. And ang ganda-ganda na talaga ng exhibit nila for that. Mas mahal dito yung entertainment, like Tokyo Disney. That's like what, 6,000 yen. That's Legoland, 7,000 yen. Ang mamahal, basta entertainment. But the museums, I think they're encouraging people to go.
Yeah. The City Museum is in fact free kung kayo ay
Yes.
estudyante. And for that matter, part of the education sector. And even the most expensive museum na napuntahan ko yata is, for example, yung art galleries. Ano sila? They don't even go close to 1,200 yen, actually. Compare that to a regular basic movie ticket, which usually hits 1,500 yung pinakamura. So parang mas incentivized nga to go to a museum and to go to an educational place kaysa sa entertainment.
Yes.
And more often than not, public area na siya, surrounded ka na ng mga murang makainan, additional na mapapasyalan for the whole family.
So alin yung mamimiss mo, Hansley, the most listening?
Medyo odd kasi siya definitely for me kasi as a
Or
student,
should I say, sino mamimiss mo?
Mamimiss mo
ito
kami,
nga.
Hans. Mamimiss mo kami. Aminin mo yan.
Siyempre naman. Mas ano nga eh. You would think na ang unang mamimiss ko is the place or the service, but no, really it's the people. Yung parish community namin sa Nanzan University, every Sundays, parang every after mass laging may pakape at laging may kwentuhan both with Japanese residents, foreign residents. and
Wala
Filipino
dito din,
residents.
no? Walang ganun dito. Walang pakapi dito sa simbahan.
Kaya nga eh. Kumbaga kasi nga dahil nga maliit lang din naman nga yung English speaking community, parang we practically know each other at this point. Halos magkakilala na lahat. Yung school ko, definitely JSID, even if it is an international school, I think dahil nga international siya, mukhang nagbabaan lahat ng area at ng ego ng mga tao doon. Parang wala kaming pakialam saan kagaling. Here, we're all students. Here, we're gonna help each other out whenever we can. So, that's probably the most equal and the most dignified I've been treated ever
But
since
you don't miss the Japanese. Parang yung mga Hapon, di sila masyadong nakikihalubilo sa
actually,
nasa-sense ko.
Well, not in my school at least. Kasi to be fair naman kasi, yung school namin, and Nagoya University in general, it's a school that promotes internationalization sa talaga. So, kung ikaw ay Hapones na nag-aaral sa university, you're not exactly, hindi ka naman yung Hapones na who keeps to yourself. May pakialam ka talaga. May pakialam ka talaga. Practically half of the Japanese friends I made in the university speaks another language, and 1/3 of those speak Filipino. So, ano pa nga. And
Si Abby, do you sense that? Do you have Japanese friends, or do they include you?
Mhm.
Do they...
Here long enough to actually have Japanese friends. And a lot of them are because I met some when I was a student. And maybe out of all the Japanese people I've met while I was a student, siguro parang tatlo lang yung nagki-keep in contact. But we're very good friends.
Mhm.
So kasi I noticed this based on my experience, at least. I don't know kung totoo siya for other people, but the Japanese have a tendency to divide their life into chapters. Like sa chapter ng pagiging estudyante, magkakasama tayo. Magbibigay ko sa'yo buhay ko kasi pare-pareho tayo mga estudyante. And then the minute they graduate, parang hindi ka na nila kilala. And hindi dahil sa galit sila sa'yo. It's just that
Busy na sila.
one chapter of their life is over. At ikaw, member ka, part ka nung unang
Chapter
chapter
na
of
yan.
life. So, pag nagkaroon ng reunion, ayun na naman, mafe-feel mo na naman na parang mahal na mahal ka nila. Pero pang reunion lang. So, out of all of that, so natutuwa ko. Natutuloy ako mag-chapter din sa buhay ko.
I think
So,
the only
ganon.
people who don't do that, in my experience, nga, as in yung mga kalas dun sa mga more professional areas. And I guess, dito mga rin makikita siguro yung pagiging non-judgmental ng mga taong nagtatrabaho sa entertainment industry. Like, one of my curious experiences last year was, nung minsang ginabi ako sa karaokehan at inabot ako ng madaling araw, nagpalamig ako essentially sa isang convenience store na malapit sa bahay ko. For some reason, I encountered this guy who turned out to be a local musician who is known to perform around multiple bars in Nagoya. He speaks English. Ang pangalan niya is Hideshi Takahashi, nasa Facebook siya. And for some reason, he engaged me in conversation na hindi kami magkakalala at all. And then we just began talking about jazz. And then afterwards, he began invited me, punta ka sa gig ko. And I spent my Christmas last year joining his gig. And parang kahit hindi nila ako kilala, I haven't even been able to attend the gig of his. But they treat me like anyone. Parang they've known me all my life, even if that's the first time we're talking. So I guess baka nga nasa iba-ibang industriya. And I guess meron din nga po kasing parte nun na there's an emerging generation of Japanese who are beginning to realize na baguhin na nga natin to. Let's not be this insular and segmented about everything. Kasi mas mayaman ang buhay when we blend all of our friends, di ba?
Anong naging reaction nila kapag nalaman nilang Pilipino kayo? Alam ba nila yung history natin with Japan or parang hindi naman kayo tinatanong saan yun? Saan yung Pilipinas? Hindi naman ganon.
Nakakatawa ang kanilang stereotype idea ng Philippines. Kasi pag sinabing, Abi Sensei, where are you from? Well, you can guess where I'm from. And they go like, I don't know, give us a hint. I don't know, I'm in Asia, I'm from Asia. And so finally one would guess, Philippines? Yes, I'm from the Philippines. Banana. Yun na yun.
Kasi
Yun lang.
hindi important.
Para bang, Yun lang, ganon. Tapos, hindi pa nga mangga. Mangga dahil dinidikit nila yung sa Thailand. Pero ang saging banana. Ang Philippines banana.
Totoo naman
saging
yan.
Banana.
Ang saging.
Oo. Masyado tayong connected sa idea nila ng banana. At I don't know, I mean, when I was a student, which was 20 years ago, pag sinasabi kong Philippines ako, merong a few of the, nag-aral ako sa nag-aral ako sa Nagoya University, di ba? Nag-aral ako ng Japanese doon. So, yung mga friends ko sa Nagoya University, they were asking, the Philippines, we know about the war. They would actually open that topic. And I said, yeah, and then they'd say that, that was a really dark time in Japan's history. So they were open about that. And yet I also met a few people that are they don't like talking about it. It's like they gloss over history. And they make it a point not to even, mention the fact that you're from the Philippines and this happened in past. So I guess it depends. It depends on the Japanese.
Ginaganon. Parang, Pilipino, ganun. Hindi ganon.
Okay. I've never actually
Basta wag lang banggitin
experienced
yung digmaan. Basta ganun lang.
Basta some of the people I met, ayaw talaga nilang pag-usapan.
Si Hans.
Oo nga, Hans. Ikaw.
Well,
Mas recent ka.
Hindi ka ba napagkakamalang ibang ibang ano, hindi ka na pagkakamaling yung isang kaibigan ko na sa Amerika. Anong what's your nationality?
Yeah.
Sabihin niya, I'm Japanese American.
Yeah. And I
Naulo, Pilipino.
yan, I think I'm coming from a physiological siguro disadvantage na I blend in really well kasi with my Indonesian colleagues and Malaysian colleagues. So medyo sa mga hindi kami kilala, mukha kaming magkakamukha apparently. The same way
They
some
think
people.
you're Indonesian.
Yeah.
Indonesian.
Lalo pa pag full beard ako.
Anong reaction nila pag nalaman nila ano ka pala? Tagalog ka.
Pag nalaman nilang Filipino, yun nga, there's one it can be banana. It can be they will recollect a really good vacation they had in Manila, in Baguio, in Cebu, or in Davao, which is most of the destinations na pinopromote ng ating tourism industry. There are some who
So, are you saying good vacation in quotation marks?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, ano naman.
Alam naman natin, 'di ba, may panahon pag sinabing Japanese tourist.
Ay, nako, oo.
Teka, lalo pa recently, 'di ba? Hindi it's mga nakakatawa. If you wanna mention that, sila pa minsan nga yung embarrassed with me when they talk about tourism. Parang sila pa yung embarrassed na parang we're very sorry about Luffy.
About?
Diba? Yeah, parang sila pa yung very apologetic na bakit na may mga Japanese citizens na gumagawa ng unscrupulous business sa Pilipinas. Diba?
Yung criminal, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Yung nandun sila sa prison and yet they have all the gadgets.
Yeah, parang mas apologetic pa sila sa ganon. Sometimes they will be
Aware
people.
naman pala sila. Hindi naman pala sila like self-absorbed or hindi pala ganon.
Yeah, ano po?
Alam nila. So nasa consciousness nila talaga ang Pilipinas.
Yeah, especially the younger
naman.
generations na
Yeah,
tinuturuan.
I have to agree. The younger generations are a lot more open-minded compared with the older generations that they have. At least yung mga bata, alam nila.
Oo, no. Pero parang nanguuri din sila. At least yun yung sense ko pag nasa train ako, parang taga saan ito? Hindi naman mukhang Hapon kasi pag parang inaano nila. Well, siguro mukha akong dangerous.
Kinikilatis nila.
Parang sense ko lang yun. Kinikilatis ako.
Hindi, ganun sila, especially in places like Nagoya. If you're not Japanese, they stare at you.
They stare,
even the children, yung bata talaga, minsan titingnan ka, tapos talagang magko-comment yung bata ng, hindi yan Hapon. Oy, nag-i-English sila, ganun yung mga bata. Parang, siguro sila nang-iinsulto, pero ganun talaga. When we went to Okinawa, we didn't feel that. Nobody stared at us. You were just one of many. Okay ang Okinawa, I guess because maraming foreigners nakatira doon. Maraming non-Japanese nakatira doon. But I never felt the way I feel in Nagoya, even though 23 years ako nakatira dito. Sa Okinawa, nobody cared if you weren't Japanese.
Ano din po kasi, Okinawa is culturally actually a bit different.
Yes.
Even compared to Japan mainland and even to China and Korea. They're their own culture. Parang yung relationship ng mainland Japan sa Okinawa, strictly speaking, parang is our relationship with Mindanao.
Parang ganun. A lot of the Japanese, hindi nila tinatawag Japanese ang Okinawans. And then the Okinawans don't want to call themselves Japanese. We are Okinawans. But I like Okinawa. Kung magkaroon lang ng opening sa university doon, lilipat ako doon.
Di ba?
So, ang tanong ko, with all these things, pero parang ang Pilipino, punta pa din sila sa Japan. Kasi mga Japanese naman, they don't discriminate against Filipinos.
Not really.
Depends, I guess.
Meron din?
Oo naman.
Anong type of discrimination?
Well, ako kasi, I'm an English teacher, di ba? And I have experienced being passed over for a job because they want a whitey. If I'm allowed to say that term. They want a Caucasian. Diba? And I've experienced na may kasama akong German. German siya, friend ko siya. And there was this Japanese lady, nagpunta sa dorm, kasi estudyante pa ako nun. Naghahanap sila ng gustong mag-part-time English teacher na university student. She made a beeline to towards the German guy. And then the German guy spoke in perfect Japanese and told her, I don't speak English. I speak German. In Japanese, sinabi yun ng German guy. And the woman just insisted, no, you teach English, you teach English. And then the German guy said, ask her. Her English is perfect. And the lady just looked at me, head to foot. Tapos biglang, tinalikuran ako at humarap dun sa German guy at sinabing, you teach English. And then the German guy just like, yon. So I felt that in various versions and different iterations in the span of 23 years.
Wow.
It still happens.
I can corroborate that din po. Kasi I did spend time teaching English din. In the past 2+ years I was there. And part of the feedback that I got from my employers was apparently daw my English accent is incomprehensible. Kaya hindi nila nirenew yung kontrata ko. Which is pretty curious, especially when my students told me, Sensei, I think it is in your class that the first time we learned about English grammar is a thing. Kasi ano to mas madalas na kinukuwento nung mister ni Ate Abby. The Japanese learn English mostly by memorization, not by grammar studies, not by phonics, not by pronunciation, and not even by practice. Kasi, and I guess, kasi that's how they teach themselves Japanese. That's also how they teach themselves Chinese. In a different language, that doesn't work. And unfortunately, a lot of schools, both public, private, and agency-based, mukhang hindi pa rin nagka-catch up.
Medyo flawed ang English learning systems nila. Teachers really work hard to fix it in our own way. But generally speaking, the system itself needs a revamp.
Why would they want to learn English?
Why would they want to? Well, for one thing, to be global, to be able to communicate with the rest of the world. That's usually the reason. And they like to travel. The Japanese like to travel. As a nation, they like to travel. And to travel, you need the language that is spoken in most countries. So they're learning English. And I think a few years back, learning English was sort of like a status symbol. Most parents want their kids to be able to speak a few words in English, to show off sa mga amiga nila, mga ganun. So, parang kailangan ka matuto ng piano noon. Kasi yun ang gusto ng nanay mo. Para pag may get-together, magpiano ka, anak. Yan. Ganun yung English nila. Parang ganon.
That much is true.
Diba?
So, generally, ano yung kalagayan dyan ng mga Pilipino after having said all these things? So, may discrimination din pala. Yes. Do they eat our food?
Hindi lang naman sa Pilipino sila discriminated. Sa lahat naman ng non-Japanese. They have their own.
Concern. That's their biggest concern. Na may tendency pa rin ang older generation of Japanese, which comprises the managerial class, to look down on non-Japanese and to treat them na utosan namin kayo, we can make you do anything we want to do. Younger corporations, startup companies, especially run by younger Japanese, they're explicitly, baguhin na natin to kasi nga toxic work environment yan. Pero as long as the big industries are still run by these old mindsets, may may malaki-laking at matigas-tigas na glass ceiling na hinaharap ang maraming migrante.
Kasi after all, pati yung mga Japanese women, di ba?
Yeah.
Di sila several spaces away from...
Grabe. Grabe, kasi hindi talaga, ayoko naman sabing misogynistic, pero hindi talaga ganun kaganda magkaroon ng career ang babaeng Hapon. I mean, the most you could hope for is to marry someone rich. Ay, ang sama ko, no? even my classmates, the Japanese friends that I have, talagang ang goal nila in life is to be a housewife. Even though, one of my friends is na-hire siya ng media, nagwo-work na siya sa isang big TV company. And yet, sabi niya, I can't wait to get married so that I can leave all of this. So, parang choice naman nilang hindi magka-career. But, kasi kung gugustuhin nila magka-career, mahirap din. Diba? So, bakit mo pahihirapan ang sarili? So, a lot of Japanese women that I speak with, hindi naman nila kasi sa tingin nila hindi problema yon. And in my opinion, kung hindi yun problema sa kanila, ba't ko problemahin para sa kanila? Diba? So, it's just that ang sad kasi yung mga gustong magka-career, they end up leaving Japan. Parang ganun. I've met an educator in Portland. Kaya siya nasa Portland kasi alam niya hindi siya ever magiging head ng university sa Japan.
Ano din po, palagay ko, function din siya nung nasang region ka nag-ooperate. Medyo nagiging big conversation na siya dun sa mga mas malalaking metropoles in Japan like Tokyo and Osaka. Pero since Nagoya nga is recently pa lang talaga siya nag-urbanize at nag-gentrify, yung attitudes ng mga tao dito, ang mga babae dito, medyo ganun pa rin. I have Japanese classmates who are trying to become a bit more career-oriented, and they're a really small minority. I think out of all the Japanese I encountered dito, there's really just 3 of them who talked about, I want to prioritize my career first, and I don't see myself having a family anytime soon kasi nga, hindi rin naman ganun kadali.
Pero, isn't it a little bit strange, diba? Kasi ganun na nga yung mindset nila and yet, hindi naman tumataas ang population. I mean, you'd think if you want to be a housewife, have a big household, you'd think they have kids, right? Mm-hmm. And still, the population is going down. So, para bang, dinidefeat yung purpose ng gusto kong maging housewife so I have a family. Housewife ka, isang anak.
How are they solving alam ko mataas yung incentives for having children sa Japan. How are they solving it? Pero ganun na din nangyari sa China, di ba? Mababa na din yung birth rate.
Yeah. The frustrating part is parang they're pretending to solve it but they're not. Yeah. I mean, totoo po yung maraming incentives, Like even my foreign classmates na nanay na dala-dala yung mga anak nila, ang dami nilang binibigay na benefits. But they stop short of offering them citizenship.
Yes.
Which is
kahit nga permanent residency, di ba? Ang hirap.
You can attest to that. Di ba? Ilang taon po kayo.
Are you a permanent resident?
This year lang ako naging permanent resident.
Congratulations.
Di ba?
Diba? Hindi siya madali. Madali siya if you're married to a Japanese. But not when you're wala kang connect. So your
children will be Japanese if you have children?
No. In Japan, by the way, if the mother is not Japanese, the child follows the nationality of the mother. So, kahit ipanganak siya dito sa Japan, hindi siya Hapon. And kung kasal sa Japanese, halimbawa yung babae kasal sa Hapon, kung hindi registered ang marriage nila, hindi pa rin magiging Hapon yung bata. Talagang ginagawa nila ang lahat wag maging Hapon.
Nationalism nila, even blood or whatever it is, biological nationalism, race, Japanese race. Siguro, ano kaya kinakatakotin nila? Yung mga Pilipino? Yung
I think, nakausap ako na medyo may edad na teacher before. Hindi ko naman siya inaway, pero almost. Ang sabi niya, the reason daw na ayaw niyang matuto ng English ang mga kabataan ng Japan. English teacher ang kausap niya, sinabi niya yun Sabi niya, the reason I don't want the young people to learn English is because it will dilute Japanese culture. Ang sabi ko sa kanya, so your culture is that weak to be diluted by a language? Hindi niya na ako nausap after.
Yeah. Which is, Which is weird.
Nakakainis, no? Magde-debate ka, ituloy mo.
Yeah.
Nakakainis.
Which is weird considering they owe a lot to, 'di ba? China and Korea in the first
Sabi ko nga
place.
sa kanya, so ganun ba ka-weak ang kultura nyo? English lang yan. Look at the Philippines. 'Di ba? Oh, we have our rich culture and we are bilingual minimum. So feeling niya corrupted ang culture ng Philippines.
Mm-mm.
So anong kalagayan ngayon and how else can we, I guess, strengthen Japanese-Philippine relations? So ano kalagayan nung alam mo may nakikinig sa DFA whatever, Department of
Hello.
Migrant Affairs whatever. Atinista doon. So how else kalagayan ng mga kababayan natin sa Japan? Although si Abby mukhang ano na siya, 'di ba?
Mm.
Balik na dito, mayaman na mayaman siya.
Ang tawag mo dito. I am one of the few, me and my husband, we are one of the few who have learned to make, as much as we can, we make the system work for us. Parang gano'n. Kasi we recognize the benefits of living in Japan. Like kami, stable employment, taxes that work for you. I mean, taxes, ang laki ng tax dito, but they work for you. And a good medical system, medical insurance that actually will save your life. Parang ganon. So we know the system and we work with the system. Basically, we work with the system and we make the system work for us. And hindi kami nag-iisa. Marami rin namang, not just Filipinos, but other nationalities who recognize this.
Mhm.
So, paano magiging better ang relationship? I guess, kailangan the Filipinos who are working here, they have to be given more information about what Japan can do for them. Because I've met Filipinos who try not to pay the insurance, not just Filipinos, Americans, all nationalities. They try to circumvent the medical insurance because they feel that it's stealing from them. So it's rather not a very open-minded view of it. And then, pag nagkasakit sila, ang mahal magkasakit sa Japan ng walang insurance. You pay 100%, 100%. And it's not cheap. Hindi namin nafe-feel yun kasi insured kami. We only pay 30% or less. So, maraming Filipinos, they feel that everything is against them. And it's not true.
Invented pala, hindi ka tulad sa Europe, talagang kailangan.
Yeah. Although, what I can attest siguro, dito sa binanggit ni Ate Abby is, yun nga lang, ang challenge ng, kung halimbawa, bago kang papasok sa Japan, you're kind of gate-kept by the options you already have in your socioeconomic status in the Philippines. Ako, I had the options na makipag-engage sa maraming bagay kasi, I'm already highly educated in the Philippines. Kung ikaw ay hindi naman nakatapos ng kolehiyo at pupunta ka ng Japan to work, a blue-collar job, medyo limitado din talaga yung options mo na papasukan. So, I guess the opportunity siguro ng Japanese government to improve this is to increase opportunities for those kinds of people. Kasi, napakaraming talento na nababaon dun sa mga ganong limited options kasi hindi na pagbibigyan. Marami po akong mga kaklaseng Pilipino sa MA and PhD program na kaya lang sila ngayon nakaka-enjoy na nitong mga mas marami-raming oportunidad. Kasi nga, nagtrabaho po sila for how many years to build money, mag-ipon, support themselves to study further. That need not happen kung merong opportunities na mas madali mag-transition. Like like adult education for migrants. Na pinag-uusapan na rin naman. Pero hindi siya consistent across prefectures. Dito sa Nagoya may effort na alam ko na facilitated by the church, facilitated by the local government. Pero mas marami-rami pa talagang usapang kailangan gawin. Not helped by the fact na most of these conversations are happening in Japanese.
Yes, it's
Diba?
the language. The
Hmm.
language is a really, really big barrier for Filipinos or other nationalities to make Japan their home. Kasi nga, ang hirap dahil everything is in Japanese. And it's frustrating na gusto mong mag-aral ng Japanese then you go to this Japanese lesson like sa Nagoya International Center. It's very cheap, like 1,000 yen or something like that. And then they teach you nothing but, hello, how are you? What's your favorite food?
Mm.
That's not the Japanese you're supposed to be learning. So, yun.
Yeah, even
It's so hard.
even university Japanese lessons na libre na to, libre na sa amin. They are still mostly entry level, conversation lang. It's not really survival. How do you call a company? How do you open your bills? It's not
How do
that.
you open a bank account? I mean, the
Exactly.
first time I opened the bank account, I had to have a Japanese beside me.
Yeah. Or kung
And
makikipagsapalaran ka, kailangan mo talaga ng Google Translate. But you need Google Translate, you need a phone. How do you open a phone number? Kailangan mo pa rin ng Hapones.
20 years ago, there was no Google Translate. There wasn't
Exactly.
even a smartphone. All the
Exactly.
maps, all the maps in Nagoya were in Japanese. Siguro okay din yun dahil doon natuto ako.
Mm.
Ngayon, hello Google Translate. Hello.
Mm.
Pero that's important, no? You make the system work for you rather than
Yes.
go around it.
You have to learn. I mean, in any kahit naman sa Pilipinas, we have to learn to make the system work for us.
Mm.
Because ang hirap if you keep on going against it. If you do nothing but complain, right? And ang dami-daming ganun. And they end up leaving the country thinking that the country is such a bad place to live in. Whereas, if they exerted a little bit of effort, understanding the benefits that they could actually get, yun. Ang hirap din minsan i-explain yan. I keep trying to explain that to the Filipinos I know in the volunteer events that I go to, and they kind of just blank me out. Parang, okay lang yan sa'yo kasi ikaw. Hindi yan pwede sa amin kasi kami. Parang ganun. So, it's kind of hard to go past that.
Kumbaga nagpatong na yung cultural divide natin sa Pilipinas. In-import pa natin.
In-import pa. Parang,
Plus
ano ba? Tumutulong na nga parang ako pa yung masama. Ako, kasalanan ko, yun.
Yeah. So maybe yun nga siguro, well, cultural divide talaga yan. Yeah, so ang dami ko natutunan. So ang talagang ang palaisipan sa isip ko ngayon parang yun nga, una talagang tama ako, no? wala talaga akong although yung kapatid ko nagtrabaho sa Japan for 10 years, pero ako wala akong attraction sa Japan kasi medyo ano na yung utak ko Marami na siyang alam wika, mag-aaral pa siya ng Japanese. So pero alam ko deep in their hearts mabait yung mga Hapon. So parang tapos maganda yung sistema nila. Siguro alam din nila yon, no? So they're protecting it. Pero yun nga, ang balintunan mamamatay na sila. Pa-extinct na sila. So,
which is funny considering ang main effort nga nila with Japan International Cooperation Agency at ng Asian Development Bank is not only to import Japan to the rest, Japan's good things to the rest of the world, but also to learn good things from the rest of the world. Kumbaga, malay din naman sila. They modernized in the 19th century dahil alam nila na they need to learn from the rest of the world. So, medyo clearly, meron lang talagang mga nagpatong-patong that's preventing them from relearning that lesson again. And I guess, ang opportunity nga natin as migrants o as potential migrants is, patuloy silang itulak na hindi, okay lang yan. Magbukas kayo. We're not a threat.
Yes. Yun pa. I mean, it's so, parang napaka-normal sa kanila isipin din na pag hindi Hapon, malamang kriminal. May ganun din silang pag-iisip. Tapos, kasi I ask my students, I always have this as my debate kasi I teach Philippine culture and society. Tapos sabi ko sa students ko, sige nga, alam nyo na may population problem na kayo, diba? So ano yung solutions? Diba? Ako, ang tagal, it's like pulling teeth para lang sabihin nilang immigration. Kasi ayokong spoon feed sila, no? Gusto ko sila mag-isip. Gusto ko sila critically think people, ano ba? Ang unang-una, alam niyo kung anong unang-una? Robots. Robots will save Japan. Yan ang kasi sabi ko, don't you need caregivers? You need people to take care of because you're an aging society, di ba? So where do you get the caregivers? We build them. Sabi ko, okay, do you know, di ba? Tapos magkukwento pa ako tungkol sa, alam niyo ba, ang tax? Ayan, ang robot ba nagbabayad ng tax? Hindi siyempre, hindi sila makasagot. O so ano ngayon, saan ngayon kikita ang bansa niyo? Sa mga caregivers na nagbabayad ng tax? Immigrant. Other people. Grabe, tagal Parang 30-45 minute discussion yan. Para lang malabas yung idea na yun. At least nag-aha moment sila kahit pa paano. Oo nga, no. Robots talaga, robots daw. Dami niyan.
Yeah.
And
The
it actually
interesting-
exists. Ang daming caregiver robots ngayon dito.
So it's very interesting. So I really learned a lot. And hopefully, yun nga, yung strengthen pa natin yung relationship natin sa Japan. And I wish you well sa inyong yung foundation?
Chubu Philippine Friendship Association. It's a volunteer group.
Yes.
And talaga siyang super
Maybe
volunteer siya.
Time to pay them para sustainable.
Gusto naman natin i-promote yung yung NPO natin at Yabi.
Oo, we recently created. At this kasi I'm also a member, nasa board of directors ako ng Social Care International. It's a very new NPO which was today pa lang namin nakuha yung lisensya galing sa gobyerno ng Japan. And it's an NPO created hopefully to create projects specifically for the Filipino communities. I'm kind of pushing na maging education-oriented yung karamihan ng projects. Pero before that, kailangan muna entertainment-oriented. Kasi doon mo mahahatak yung mga tao, yung mga pa-festival, paliga, basketball game. Sabi ko talaga, mag-organize tayong basketball game. Sige, fine. Para lang makahata. And then, gusto na namin i-push dun yung education component. Sana matuloy. Yay, di ba, Hans?
Yeah po.
Bumalik ka na kasi.
Yeah. I also spend time helping them plan out these things. Kaya nga I'm really looking forward to greater news. Kasi nga matagal hindi rin talaga ma-organizing talaga yung community natin dahil nga nagkakanya-kanya. So maybe it is time to change that.
Ano yung definition ng pag nag-organize tayo, pag hinahatak natin sila para it's like herding cats. Ganon ang mga Pilipino. Sorry, isa na ako doon, I suppose, di ba?
Yeah.
Like herding cats talaga.
Oo. Many of our stories are unprintable. Yes po.
I guess, well, I don't know if it's unique to Japan, but it's always difficult to bring Filipinos together. And when they are together, they fight.
Kaya nga, herding cats talaga.
Kaya nga.
All right, so thank you, Abby.
Thank you so much, sir, for inviting.
Yes.
Hindi ko alam kung nakatulong ako, but anyway.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much.
And Hansley, hanggang sa uulitin.
Yeah, maraming salamat po.
Right. So, Abby, last words.
Well, Hans, welcome back to the Philippines.
Yeah.
And to all the listeners out there, I hope you learned something, a little bit about Japan, and it's a good country to live in. You just have to make the system work for you in a good way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Abby.
Thank you,
Salamat po.
Professor Miroy. Thank you so
Salamat po ulit sa oras.
All right. So hanggang dun lang. Hanggang sa muli. Lundagin,
Maraming
Beybeh.
salamat.
Magandang gabi po sa
Maraming
inyo lahat.
salamat. Magandang
Salamat po.
gabi.
Salamat po.
Thanks, Abby.
Salamat po.
Right.
Meron? Ano nga ba ang meron? Paano nga bang mabuhay ng tapat sa meron? Don't you wish you can relive your philo classes? The terror teachers? The terrible oral exams? Or the even terrifying but liberating and life-changing aha moments? Lundagin mo, baby! Here's your chance! Lundagin mo, baby! Kasama ang mga pilosopong sina Jovi Miroy at Ron Capinding. Lundagin mo, baby! Leaping upward, leaping forward. Lundagin mo, baby! leaping to greater heights, to greater wisdom, to greater magis. Lundag na, Ateneo! Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill